my name's Katie. I'm a reference librarian at the Worcester branch of the Wayne County Public Library. Now, earlier this month, I did a live introduction to Canva, the website we're looking at right now. I know not everyone was able to join us, so I thought I'd put together a video series going over some of the ways you can use Canva for various projects. Now, I've already done a video. It's part one of this series that explains what Canva is and how to find and use the templates. Today, however, we'll be going over how to start with a completely blank canvas. And so if you remember from my first video, the first step after signing in that we need to do is to pick out what we want to make. And today we're going to be making an invitation to a birthday party. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and click on this. And okay, so we default when we do it this way to a completely blank canvas. We do have those templates over here on the left-hand side, but we're going to start and just use this blank canvas. And the first thing we're going to want to do is to pick our background. Now, there is a background option over here on the left-hand side where we have quite a few background images that we can choose from. You know, from the whimsical to the beautiful to just about everything in between. Some may be better than others for putting text over top. And because of that, you know, I maybe don't want like a kind of busy image like this or this as my background for my invitation. I kind of just want a plain background that's a color. And, you know, they make it very easy. We have all these colors across the top. We also have our color wheel where we can look around and see what colors we want. Let's make this a fun bright green. If I did want to do a search for backgrounds, though, I certainly can, be that a topic or a color pattern. Type that in. Okay. The next thing after we have our background is we probably want to add text. Now, the order you go in is not super important, but I like to add my text and then add my elements around it. And this is an invitation. So I'm going to click on text over here on the left. We're going to spend a lot of time over here on the left with all of these different things. And I can certainly click on add a heading, add a subheading, add body text, and go from there. We do also have these great combos, these font combinations that have already been put together by Canva. And as someone who was never trained in graphic design, you know, I don't necessarily know if I should put a serif with a sans serif font and so on. And so the pre-made font combinations can actually be pretty cool. They're usually a blend of, more than one text, or perhaps they are, something that's a little fancier, like if you look at this boo, might be good for something Halloween based. But let's say we are having a cowboy themed birthday party. So this font combination just might be perfect. Now I can certainly change my font. We have all of our fonts kind of just like you would in a Microsoft product, the ability to change your font. If you see that crown, don't forget that does mean you have to pay for it, but we can ignore those. And if I didn't like this font that says authentic leather right now, I could, of course, change it to anything that fits my needs. All right, so I've changed the font on one of those. I can, of course, still change my font color. Perhaps let's make this one blue. Let's make this one, how about teal? And I can also do though, like I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm not really feeling this one. I kind of want it to be handwriting maybe. So when we click on our text font type, we can actually do a search, and that search can be for the font name itself, but it can also be for a font style. So I can put in handwriting and get just handwriting style. Ooh, that's kind of hard to read. So maybe we don't want that. Or maybe I want it to look like this. That's kind of cool, especially if it's for a littler kid's birthday. So that is a really cool, I think, thing that's available to be able to search for a font style. And this works for, you could put in calligraphy, you can put in, they even give you suggestions, corporate, display, and so on. Okay. Now you'll notice that this is just moving around together, and that is because this font combo is actually grouped together. I can ungroup them with this little button up here. I can group and ungroup. Now, the reason I might want to ungroup is because I maybe actually want something down here and some text up here and so on. All right, so let's start changing what it says. Okay. I promise I know how to spell. You're invited. Let's make this a calling all cowgirls and cowboys. And like most software, we have the opportunity to move things around. I think it's really neat that Canva gives you, you can see this pink line that's going down the center that tells you it's centered. And then we can stretch things. We can make something larger or smaller. Let's actually move our "You're Invited" up. And I've just realized I don't have any space for where and when this program or this party is happening. So I'm going to go back to text and I'm going to scroll up and I'm just going to hit, add some body text. And we're going to say when, June 3rd, where, my house. Change our font if we want. Make it bigger. All right. I think I have all the text that I need. So now I want to add some elements all around this. Now, elements are, again, one of the options over here on the left-hand side of the screen. And it's where we go when we want to add like the everything else. So they're going to have photos, graphics, video, audio, all in here. And since this is a cowboy party, I'm going to search for cowboy. Let's try that. And so again, you'll see little graphics, you see photos. If I want to only look at graphics, I'm not interested in including a photograph. I can, we have these subheadings up here. Graphics is one of them. Now, this little guy is fun, but he's moving around. And, certainly these are called animated. If you plan on putting this in an online space and you can upload something as an MP3 or an MP4, which is a video file, you can certainly use these animated ones, but I'm just going to send this in an email. So I am actually going to click on these three little lines that have the dots on them. That's where we can refine what we're looking at. And I'm going to say static. And that's going to get rid of anything that is animated. That said, some of the animated things are really cute. All right. Now I can start adding some fun stuff to our invitation. Let's add some cowgirl boots. Let's add, how about a horseshoe? And notice I am changing the size on all of these. And Canva is again giving us those little pink lines to kind of let us know, is something lined up? Is it centered? You know, I can certainly put in other words up here too. You know, maybe let's try Western. We're getting similar things, but not all the same things. It's going to bring other things up. And maybe sheriff. Let's center this. Cool. So my daughter hates the color pink. And so this is a really neat image, but you know, she would not be happy if it had a pink cowgirl hat. So one of the really, again, cool things that Canva makes really easy is up here along the top, we have our image colors, and they change, of course, from image to image as I click on them. And just like the text, it has its own text color, but I'm going to click on my cowboy boots and hat, and I'm going to select pink. And now I can actually change it to another color. So let's actually change it to purple. Or it could be orange, or, you know, really whatever you want it to be. And then you do have the document colors up here, giving you even more options within the system. Ooh, like a dark royal purple. Let's go for that. And, you know, changing the color is something that's really cool that you can do if you want it to all kind of be like one color scheme, or you have theme colors that you got to stick within because maybe you're doing something for a business. And that way you can make sure you have your branding and your colors represented. Another thing we can do is we can put things in front of or behind each other. So I have this really cool sheriff star right here. And here is an image of a sheriff, like their little place where they would be hanging out and booking criminals. And so I can actually layer things right on top of one another. Or conversely, let's shrink this guy up. You know, maybe I want it behind our horseshoe. So right now it's over top. How do I get it behind? Well, up here again, so here's where we changed our colors. One of the options is position, and I can tell it I want it to come forward. Or I can tell it I want it to go backward. So that's kind of neat. And I don't know. I think it's fun. All right. Once you are happy with your design, let's see. Let's pretend like this sheriff station is our house. Let's maybe put in some like a cool arrow pointing at it. And of course we can flip. This is facing the wrong way. Flip lets us go a certain direction. Where? My house, the sheriff's station. So once you're done and you're happy with what everything looks like, this is a little busy. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't use this, but for example purposes, I hope it worked well. We can move on to downloading. And again, that's under share and then download. And then we can choose what type of document we want it to be downloaded as. And in this case, I'm going to download it as a PNG because that's going to be really easy to insert into an email or to share on Facebook and so on. All right. Well, thank you for joining me for part 2 of our introduction to Canva. Next video I'm going to do is going to be all Canva tips and tricks. So you already know a couple of them. And I hope that you join me for that as well. And you'll have a really good overview of what Canva can be used for. All right. Thanks for joining me.